be with you this night on Shabbat, but especially to be able to begin returning to the sanctuary. And we are getting the building ready, anticipating our return to in-person services on the first weekend in June 4th and 5th, and are using May as a run-up to that as we begin to return to our spaces and look forward to sharing time together. Tonight and this weekend we share a special Simcha the Bat Mitzvah of Becca Kodner, and we're delighted, Becca, for you and for your family and friends. We welcome those who may be with us for the first time this evening. We utilize Zoom in the chat, and there'll be information that'll be provided there for you. And similarly, as you are invited to share information, perhaps a name to lift up for Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, or to remember with Kaddish at our service's conclusion, you can utilize the chat for that function as well. I'm delighted to be here tonight with Molly May and Don McGahan, and with all of you. And so we continue with Hine Matov, a celebration of what it means to gather together. Page 10.
Hine matov umanayim shevet kulam kam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet kulam kam yachad. Behold how great it is that we can live happily together. Whoa, hine matov umanayim shevet kulam kam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet kulam kam yachad.
We go now to the Kodner family to welcome us and to share in the lighting of our Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
We light our candles here as well as we continue with Shalom Aleichem, greeting the angels that accompany Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon. Mimelech, Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bo'achem L'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mimelech, Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, Baruchuni l'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon. Mimelech, Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom. Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Can we take the screen share down, please? We're not there yet.
There we go.
Okay. So our service this evening is a musical Kabbalat Shabbat service. We're taking our time walking through each of the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat as we make our way through the week, arriving at Shabbat and remembering each day as it's gone by. So we're beginning with Lechun Eranana with Psalm 95 on page 12. Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana l'Adonai. Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yish'enu, Dekadma Panav Litodah. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yish'enu, Bizmirov Naria lo. Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana l'Adonai. Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana l'Adonai. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai shir chadash. I will sing unto God a new song. Psalm 97, at the bottom of the page, Or Zarua, page 14. Or Zarua la tzadik. Or Zarua la tzadik. Uli Yisrael, Uli Yisrael, Uli Yisrael simcha. Or Zarua la tzadik. Or Zarua הצדיק, אור זרוע לצדיק, ולישראל לב, ולישראל לב, ולישראל לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק, אור זרוע לצדיק, ולישראל לב, ולישראל לב, ולישראל לב שמחה.
I share with you a poem from our friend, liturgist, and poet Alden Salavi. It's entitled, I Sing. I sing because God made music to lift our hearts and souls from the hollow depths of darkness to the highest heights of heaven, from the cold shadows of desire to the gates of radiant hope. I sing because God made music to mark the moments of wonder, to sanctify the moments of sorrow, to soothe, to comfort, to gladden, to cradle us with infinite harmony, to rock us with eternal love. I sing because God made music to give our souls a trumpet, to give our wisdom a tambourine, to give our prayers a voice, to make our lives a song, the instruments of God's blessings. Page 16.
זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור, בכל זמרה. 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 Into Psalm 99, Romamu, sometimes heard when we take the Torah out. On page 17. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו קדושו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. And the last of our 6 psalms, Psalm 29, the end of the psalm on page 19. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo. Shalom. Shalom. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo. Shalom. 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 The Chadodi is on page 20 and 21 and will also be up on slides for you to follow. The Chadodi is both about Shabbat and about redemption. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, leshem ultiferet velitila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
As has been our practice, we invite you to unmute and greet one another. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Jay.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Bob.
All right.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Daniel, Shabbat Shalom, Drew.
Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom.
Danny.
Hello,
Tim.
Drew.
You're not unmuted, Tim. Karen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Al. Shabbat Shalom.
Good
Yes.
Shabbos.
Peter. Shabbat Shalom.
Daniel, I forgot to say hello.
Peter.
Hello, Dan.
I like your name.
We'll have the opportunity to greet each other at the end of our service. We continue with the Psalm of the Day, the Psalm for Shabbat, Mizmor Shir and Tzaddik Katamar on page 22. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי אסור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנין. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. צדיק כתמר יפרח יפרח, צדיק כתמר יפרח, צדיק כתמר יפרח יפרח, צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, יזכה. צדיק כתמר יפרח יפרח, צדיק כתמר יפרח, צדיק כתמר יפרח יפרח, צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, כארז בלבנון יזכה, יזכה.
We come now to the Misha Berach, our prayer of healing, hope, renewal, and peace. The text is found in the center, page 253 in our prayer books. We have a long list of names for whom we offer this prayer. You may have still others to offer, and if you would like to add those into the chat, I invite you to do that. As we prepare for Misha Barach, in addition to those we carry in our own hearts and those whose names are upon our own lips, do we list the following. We are mindful of Dale Anderson and Ira Altschuler, Julie Arnheim, Miriam Baral, Ann Barber, Howard Bregman, Alfred Brown, Yehoshua Lev, Ben Esther Chaya, Brenda Buch, Olivia Burton, Frank Carl, Lou Salenzi, Hinda Sara, Batchana Perel, Paula DeReamer, Debbie Duncan, Jacob Eisenfeld, Faye Fishman, Martin Gluck, Harvey Goldstein, Marcia Gross, and Piers Haggard, Donovan Hughes, Kathy James, Naum Kaplan, and Lee Kramer, Cy Lauf, Mary Litzel, Judith Levison, Ann Mallinger, Michael and Marcus, Chaim David Ben Miriam, Marco Mosera, Father John Patrick O'Brien, Levander Payne, Alex Pimpinella, Lev Podorovsky, Thomas Reich, Debbie Rokoski, Charlotte Ruth Rubenstein's granddaughter, Chava Bela Batsara, Joan Shear, Joshua Silnutzer, John Spear, and Terry Sterrett, Jean Strasberger III, Jackie Student, Drew Tomasi, Howard Weiss, Joan Weiss, Clodius Willis, Joan Wolf Woolley, Doreen Zisla, the innocent wounded and suffering in Israel and Gaza. Are there other names to share? Drew, might you be able to read them for us from the chat? Are there names to share? Seeing none.
I'm
Please.
looking right now. I do not see any names in the chat, Rabbi Disno.
Okay, thank you. We continue together now.
Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Isheberach imotenu, mekor habracha. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
This week, we have been reading around the Jewish world from the first chapters, the first verses of the book of Bamidbar, which in English we refer to as the book of Numbers. Having last week concluded the book of Leviticus, we move into the book of Numbers, this fourth book of the Torah, so named because it commences with a census of the Israelite people. And appropriately, this has been a week for counting. Watching COVID fatality numbers fall while vaccinations go up here in the United States, while watching India go in the other direction, assessing the risks of returning to regular activities versus the risk of vaccinated people contracting COVID variants, watching in abject horror as the news of terrorist incursions and military reprisals in Israel and Gaza add up, and we watch all but helplessly as the numbers of fatalities and loss grow on both sides, and we cannot avoid the knowledge that too many people's lives are forever changed. And two, this week, the Pew Research Center issued its latest report entitled American Jews in 2020. The numbers that are reported are sobering, but unsurprising. Most of what was revealed has long been familiar. Indeed, within days of the Pew Research Center issuing their Jewish Americans in 2020 report, I was asked by a Christian colleague if I had seen it, and I allowed that I had. "What do you think?" he asked. "Do you like it?" "Do I like it?" I replied. "Let me ask you something. When you step out of the shower and catch a look at yourself in the altogether, just you and the mirror in front of you, do you like what you see? Because you better love it, because it's you." There wasn't a lot in this 200-page tome that we had not seen before. We have known, at least anecdotally, the majority of these findings based on our own personal experiences with both fellow Jews and other Americans in society writ large. What then is new? Not so much. Indeed, I was reminded of the words of Nobel laureate Isaac Bashevis Singer, who quoted, "The Jews are just like everybody else, only more so." Wider American society is riven with division, and so are the Jews in America. Today, so divided is our country against itself that we may wonder for our future. In the Jewish community, the concern is not so very different. So it is that we speak today of the Jewish world being cleaved in two halves, the Orthodox and the non-Orthodox, by which we increasingly mean the spiritual and unaffiliated, with all essentially zero population growth everywhere else. There is growth in numbers along the right and left margins. Just as wider American society identifies politics as a new religion, so too our political views are indeed a reflection of our religious beliefs. The survey suggests show me a Jew who voted for President Trump, and I'll show you an Orthodox Jew, while if you show me a non-Orthodox Jew, I'll show you a Democrat. It's not exactly that simplistic, of course, but it's close. Our Jewish community in America today, perhaps unsurprisingly, mirrors the landscape across the country. As goes the U.S., so it seems go the Jews. So it is that there is a serious and significant and growing religious and political divide within our community, even as there is a rising number of Jews of color, different ethnicities, and a higher rate of acceptance of Jews in the larger community than ever before. This is evidenced most clearly by the fact that now 72% of non-Orthodox marriages are between a Jewish partner and one who does not claim Judaism as their faith tradition of origin. Nonetheless, Jews, according to the report, care about being Jewish and are accessing the Jewish community and engaging with their Jewish identities in altogether novel ways. 67% of respondents consider being Jewish important to them. 82% care about Israel. 76% prioritize remembering the Holocaust. And 72% and 59%, respectively, believe leading an ethical life and working for justice and equality is part and parcel of this Jewish self-understanding. Today, it is true, most Americans do not attend religious services regularly, and the Jews even more so, a trend that has been trending for a number of years now. Yet, many are, just the same, accessing Judaism and Jewish culture today in altogether new ways. An increasing number are united in their fear of anti-Semitism. And all agree that we need new forms and expressions of Jewish culture if we are to be able to attract and retain the next generation. What this or any survey so designed cannot measure nor predict is creativity, is drive, in essence is vitality, and the effects of Judaism's merger now with technology and all of our digital experiences and expectations that we gained through this pandemic and in the lead up and in our going forward. This last week, I read an interview completely apart from the survey. I read an interview with Rabbi Erwin Kula, with whom we have worked in the past. Rabbi Kula is the co-president of the Center for Learning and Leadership. He works at this intersection of what he refers to as religion and technology. And in this interview, he posits that we become the gods we imagine. He goes on to suggest that we have long conceived of a single God who was all-seeing and all-knowing. And now we live in a world where we have this human-created ability. We now know that there is an omniscience about us, and that everything we do is being cataloged and logged, and in this way, we have perhaps become the very gods we once feared. However, what if rather than being fashioned in God's image, we create God in ours and then become ourselves like God, unique and unlike anything or anyone else? Which brings us back to the tradition of counting, or more accurately, not counting Jews. You may know that the traditional means of counting the people in a room for a minyan is done this way: not 1, not 2, not 3, not 10. Not unlike our inability to name or count God, as God is unique and ultimately unknowable, so too Amcha, or God's people, so too the Jews, and thus not 1, and not 2, not 3. We can count, and we can be counted, but the meaning we give these numbers and the creativity and vitality they inspire, this, like God, God's self, this is unknowable. And yet, as we move forward, it helps to know where we are and who is with us, if only so we can all pull together and thereby create a sum greater than our respective parts. This week in the book of Bamidbar, we move ever deeper into the wilderness of Sinai and to the wilderness of a new generation finding a new place for the Judaism that will inspire a next generation. So while the numbers may on their surface appear dim or unattractive, they are a reflection of ourselves. And insofar as we don't like what we see, together we can address or redress our reality, and in this way reflect outwards our very best selves. Here's looking at you. Shabbat Shalom. I invite you to turn back with me as we turn back to song on page 60 and join with Molly in Petach Libi, page 60 in our prayer.
This is on page 62, Slicha.
62, okay.
Petach Libi, open my heart to your Torah.
Kedushatecha, Hasel Eman.
Speaking of counting, it is almost Shavuot. We have almost counted our way there. And this evening we are going to count the Omer, the blessings for which can be found on page 278 and also on our slides. This evening is the 40, it's going to be, yesterday this was the 47th day. So the next number is coming up, and that number is 48 in Gematria, Jewish number mysticism. 48 is the value of the letters in the word Gedolah or Gedula, depending on how you read it. Gedula is another name for Chesed, which is loving kindness, whereas Gedolah is greatness. So be great, and more importantly, be kind. The bracha for the Omer, Hineni Muchana Muzamenet L'Chayim Mitzvat Aseh, on page 278. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kidshanu B'Mitzvotav V'Tzivanu Al Sfirat HaOmer. Blessed are you, eternal our God, sovereign of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom Shmona V'Arba'im Yom, Shehem Shisha Shavuot, V'Shisha Yamim LaOmer. Today is 48 days, which are 6 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. We're almost there.
We turn now to our Kaddish. The text is on 294. As we turn our thoughts to those who've been taken from our midst, but not our hearts, whose memories are a blessing to us and to the world. Once more, do I invite you to add a name in the chat if you wish it to be read aloud. You can watch that from here, and I'll be able to read those if you share them. We are mindful now of those taken from us in these most recent days. Leonard Barenfield, Jacques d'Amboise, Helen Murray Free, Fred Jordan, John O'Connell, Jack Offenbach, Samuel Spitz. We are mindful as well of the loss of IDF Staff Sergeant Omer Tabib and all the others who have lost their lives in the recent terrorist attacks and reprisals in Israel and Gaza. And we remember for blessing the following for whom we observe Yartzeit this Shabbat: Estelle Bernstein, Benjamin Davis, David Furman, Mark Goldsmith, Dylan Harrison, Bertha Horn, Herman Kamen, Jenny Kramer, Herbert Labby, Robert Lane, Louis Lehman, Alfred Levinson, Harold Levy, Daniel Marcus, Irene Nelkin, Rose Netzer, Maish Rosenthal, David Siegel, Eileen Siegel, Frida Sokol, Robert Bob Sommerfeld, Richard Spitz, Martha Spitzer, Lauren Webster, Joan Whitehill, and Howard Wolkowitz. And we add as well the names Harvey Haber, Cecile Prager, Leonard Glasner. Other names to share just now? Seeing none, do I invite you to rise as you may be able in body and spirit, as together we share the words of our Kaddish. If you wish to unmute so that our voices might mingle together, I invite you now to so do. Yitkadal, v'yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon yomechon, chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala
v'zman kariv v'imru amen.
Yehei
Shmei
Shmei
Rabba
Le'olam Olmei Maya,
Maya.
Yitbarach,
Rach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitumam v'yitnaseh.
V'yitadar v'yitalei
v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata v'chata v'nechemata tamiran ba'alma v'imru amen.
Yehei
Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen. Oseh
Shalom b'mdomav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol bnei adam v'imru amen.
Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to all of us, to all of Israel, to all the world. And together we say,
Amen.
Please be seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
Okay, I would like to share announcements this evening. This is Karen Breen. First of all, if you are not receiving the Shalomogram, please let me know. My email is breen@rodefshalom.org, and I'll be happy to have you added to the mailing list. Tomorrow morning, Shabbat services will start at 10:30 a.m. With our bat mitzvah, Becca Kodner. And Shabbat evening services, typically Fridays at 5:30. And next week, we'll be celebrating the bat mitzvah of Abby Weinstein. I also wanted to mention that after services, please stick around. There will be a virtual oneg. I think, Drew, it's okay. I don't think I need the slides. Feel free to show them if you'd like, but I think I'm okay without them. I wanted to mention a couple of things. First of all, the silent auction fundraiser for Women of Rodef Shalom is coming to a close. So I want to make sure you have an opportunity to join in. You'll see in the Shalomogram registration for JJEP is opening. But right now it's very close to Shavuot. So on Saturday night, we have the Tikkun Leil Shavuot online, and our Rabbi Bisno is going to be doing a teaching at midnight on Saturday night. So that information will be in your Shalomogram. And of course, Monday morning for Shavuot, we will be with Temple Sinai for our joint service. Because Monday is Shavuot, please look for the Shalomogram on Sunday. That'll be arriving in your mailbox Sunday morning. You'll also have another opportunity tomorrow and Sunday morning for a last time to be able to join the Walking with the Omer with Rabbi Henry and with Molly May. So those are the announcements. There are lots more things, including, I hope I wasn't muted for the last 5 minutes. I assume that you were able to hear me. Good. I think I just touched the keyboard.
Moment. We're okay.
Okay, good. So I just wanted to say a few things from the board. First of all, Mazel Tov to the Kodner family, to Becca. We really look forward to tomorrow. I know that we will have a presentation from the virtual Bima. I believe Anne Claire Goodman will be giving that presentation tomorrow. So a hearty Mazel Tov to the entire Kodner family. I, of course, want to thank the worship team, Rabbi Bisno, Molly May, Don McGahan, and Drew Greenwald, who we have drafted to work on tech tonight. What we discovered as some board members is that it basically takes a village to replace Olivia. So you may have seen some frantic things behind the scenes today, but thank you so much, Drew. I really appreciate it. And tomorrow morning, Peter Rosenfeld will be helping with tech. I'm really excited to talk to you about a meeting that I had on Thursday morning with the worship team. Our worship team is working really hard to figure out the best way to open up, to have meaningful services as we are opening up our temple. And I'm very pleased to announce that for the first Shabbat in June, Friday evening, we will be in the sanctuary, and Saturday morning we'll be in the biblical garden. And we're going to continue that through the summer. Friday evenings in the sanctuary, Saturday morning in the garden. And I am hoping that you noticed that the worship team is in the sanctuary right now. And so for May leading up to when we are fully opening up, the worship team will be in the sanctuary every Friday evening. So thank you so much. I can't begin to tell you all, Molly, Don, Rabbi Bisno, Rabbi Henry, how meaningful it is to all of us that you've worked so hard to get us through this sort of dark tunnel of a year and into the sunlight. So thank you so much. And so for all of you, Shabbat Shalom, stay well.
Shabbat Shalom. We have a concluding song that Molly will share with us, and then we'll go back to Becca and the Codners to lead us, Becca, in Kiddush and Hamotzi. So you're on deck.
Shir hamalot beshuv Adonai et shivat Zion hayinu kecholmim. Shir hamalot beshuv Adonai et shivat Zion hayinu kecholmim. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, umevorach, Shabbat shalom, umevorach, shir hamalot beshuv Adonai et shivat Zion hayinu kecholmim.
Becca, it's to you. You should unmute, and our Kiddush is on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahavat uvratzon, hilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehila lemikra el kodesh. Zecher litziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahavat uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Shabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
May everyone a healthy appetite. Shabbat Shalom. We invite you all to unmute and join us, join one another in our Oneg Shabbat. Mazel Tov, Becca and family. We'll look forward to seeing you all tomorrow morning. Torah study tomorrow morning at 9:15. Our bat mitzvah at 10:30.
I made it.
Mazel tov, Becca. Great job.
Thank you.
Mazel tov, Becca.
Mazel tov, Becca.
Mazel tov and Shabbat Shalom.
Karen, Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Bizno, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Danny, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Mr. Rosenthal and Nancy, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Molly.
Hello again,
Shabbat
Jay.
Shalom. Have a great weekend.
Uncle Tim, Shabbat Shalom.
Have a good
Bruce
weekend.
Yar,
Hey, Drew. Thank you, Karen.
Marjorie, Shabbat Shalom. Peter, Shabbat
Hi,
Shalom.
Dan.
Shabbat Shalom, Jay.
Drew, welcome. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom Daniel, Shabbat Shalom Molly.
Nimzi, Shabbat Shalom.
Visno,
Rabbi Bert, Shabbat Shalom.
Bert,
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Karen.
I'm MC.
Good
Hello,
going,
Bert.
Karen.
Hello, Bob.
Bob who?
Rosenthal.
Who's that?
Shabbat shalom all. Good night.
We'll have to
Night,
ask the
Sharon.
guru for that meeting. Meeting of that.
Good night, all.
Peter.
Good night, all.
Hi, Peter.
See you tomorrow in
See you
services.
tomorrow for,
Absolutely.
Shabbat
Hey,
shalom.
Becky.
Bye, shalom.
Hey, Jim Epstein. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Dan.
Yeah, hope you're well.
have a good evening.
Yes, thanks. Hi, Dan.
All right.
Hello, Margie.
Care to get the news on?
Huh?
Care to get the news on?
Yeah.